Diane, how old were you when you went to your first date prom? And who did you take?
I was
28 first time.
17. No, it was my junior prom I went to. How old was I?
You're talking to
16?
the camera.
Probably.
Camera.
Maybe 16. And I took Rich Stalker, who is now my husband.
All right, thank you. Barbara, how old were you when you went to your first prom, and who did you take?
I'm still waiting to go to my first prom.
I'll take you. We'll talk about that
I
later.
never went to one.
Okay. Christy, how old were you when you went to your first prom, and who did you take?
My first prom was when I was a sophomore in high school. I was 16, and I went with Matt Parker.
Thank you. Jennifer Gould, how old were you when you went to your first prom, and who did you take?
I was a sophomore too, so I guess I was 16 and went with Roger Parody.
Okay, thank you.
Who was your first boyfriend?
Well, before I said Colin Elliott when I was in first grade.
Okay, thank you.
Who was your first boyfriend?
Well, I was a tomboy, so I didn't like the boys until I got to be a teenager, and Raymond Gould was my first boyfriend.
Okay.
15.
Okay.
Who was your first boyfriend?
You know, I had so many I don't
I
remember.
was going to say, I'm having a hard time remembering.
But I'd have to say when I was in kindergarten.
Ooh.
I was young.
Yeah.
And his name was Brad Piola.
Thank you.
And Jennifer, who was your
My
first
boyfriend was in 5th grade, and his name was David Johnson.
David Johnson.
Thank
What a
you.
cutie he was.
And now he's in jail.
He's in jail.
Diane, who is the meanest teacher you ever had?
It's not hard. She was
Mean teacher. Oh, Mr. Hennessy, he slapped my hand with a ruler.
Ouch! That must have, okay, thank you for sharing that.
Good thing it's modern.
Who was the meanest teacher you had?
I guess I'd have to say Ruth Sawyer. And this is in high school because she blamed me for doing something that the guy over there was doing. He was picking my desk cover up and shining the light in her face. And I was mad because I wasn't the one that was doing it.
That's a very good reason, thank you. Who is your meanest teacher?
I hope she
have to
watches
say Ella Southern. She was our English teacher. And she was a crotchety old lady and too old to be teaching still. And she just could not.
May I ask, how old was she?
She was 70s when she was teaching me.
Don't
And-
they retire like 65 or something?
She apparently didn't retire at the age she should have. And she was very strict
Yeah, so was Miss Black in high school.
and kind of nasty. And
middle
she had
school.
one of these things under her chin. We referred to it as a gobbler.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I hope she
And-
watches this.
And when she talked, it would
moved.
shake back. So you knew when she was really mad, it was flat.
And she made that noise.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Okay,
And if
thank
you
you.
chewed gum in that class, you were out of there.
Thank
No
you.
questions
Thank
asked.
you for sharing. Stop talking now. Thank you. Jennifer.
I
Tell us
actually
the
had
names you ever
one teacher in mind, Miss Harvey, but as soon as I heard the name Miss Southern, she definitely
Stirred up a little bell in
beat
her
out
mind.
Miss Harvey as far as meanness goes.
Okay, thank you.
Diane, can you remember your first sleepover you had? Not play date. As a big girl.
Like,
That was a chuckle.
You mean where she put the board between her and her friend in the bed so you didn't cross over?
I can't remember. My first sleepover?
Cross that line. Don't touch me.
Who said said that?
Are you saying with a boy?
No.
No.
We don't do sleepovers with boys until we're married. Oh God, no.
Huh. Do you have an answer?
Okay, next
She's
question.
thinking.
Yeah, probably at Barbara Ross's house.
All right, thank you. Barbara?
Or say that question again.
Where was your first sleepover?
And
Who
When
was it
you
with?
when you spent the night at a friend's house, do you remember the first time you got to go spend the night at a friend's house?
Well, actually, we did that all the time. I was back and forth to Mildred's or to Miriam's, or they were
like what
at
grade?
my house. Oh, second, third, fourth, somewhere in there.
Was your first sleepover? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we don't start at 2 back then.
I started at kindergarten.
Chrissy?
Well, I have
We
to.
didn't have kindergarten.
You didn't have kindergarten?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I think I'd have to converse with my mother on this because she might be a little more conscientious of when I did that.
Honey, you were about 4 years old when you started doing that.
I was. Okay, would my first sleepover have been with my best
Yeah,
friend Jenny
probably.
over here?
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, so who?
My first sleepover, I can't tell you the age, but would have been with my best friend
Probably
Jenny.
since babies.
Yeah, I'm guessing like
We
the
were
4
maybe-
age, the
Yeah.
3-4 age.
So I guess that
Same-
answers yours
That answers my
question.
question too. Yeah.
Okay.
And then there was this one sleepover when we were much older.
We don't need to know. Okay, we're done.
What's your very first memory as a kid?
Ugh.
Mom, yours is right here.
Did I answer it?
First memory as a child.
Oh, I thought she said of your kid.
When you're a kid.
That's the only reason I made that noise. Oh, God.
Okay, we'll go to Grandma and come back. Grandma.
My first memory
That's
as a
hard.
kid.
Like,
I used to remember Christmas. I loved Christmas. I'd come rushing downstairs and grab my stocking. And right beside it would be a pile of big little books. 10 cents. They cost 10 cents a piece. They were the best present I could have ever had. Well, I was probably 4, 5.
Okay, thank you. Chrissy?
yeah, we're looking at you.
My first memory as a kid, I'm not totally sure, but the thing that's most vivid with me is cartwheels on the beach when I was a little girl and spending our summer vacations in Maine.
Okay, thank you. Jenny?
There's no way I can pick a first memory.
Okay, then do your favorite Christmas.
Like,
Or that. That's even harder.
okay. When's the first time you brushed your teeth on your own?
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't remember.
Diane, can you remember? You remember, or do you want us to skip to the next question?
I remember kindergarten. That's the soonest I can remember. 'cause I
Kindergarten
remember
graduation?
No, but I remember taking naps, or supposed to be taking naps after kindergarten. While my mom was sewing in her sewing room, and she would let soap operas play while she was sewing, and so I would lay on the couch
And what are soap operas?
keep my eyes.
I
open a
don't
little
think they're modern.
Adult
bit.
drama,
Like drama
shows.
shows.
Okay.
I can't remember the first memories as a child. I don't know.
Hanging out at your grandparents' house.
Yeah, I
Being
do
stung by a
remember.
bee.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. What is the meanest thing you've ever done?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Well, the first meanest thing that I did was I froze a girl's bra in sleep.
Like in a freezer?
Yeah,
She
I
wet it
wet
and put it in a
Put it in the
freezer.
freezer so when she got up in the morning,
She'd have some stiff knockers.
She was like me.
So it must have been a really padded bra. There's no way. Okay. And what was the nicest thing you've ever done?
Unfreeze it.
Thought her bra.
She snorted.
The nicest thing I've ever done. Wow, I don't know.
The meanest thing you've ever done?
Yep.
That over to you.
What have I done? Gee, 77 years of... How do I remember which was the meanest?
I do not know.
I don't know.
You spanked me.
The ball in Jason's face and making him cry.
Oh, yes. We were mean to do that.
What did you
And
do?
every time he'd see us pick that ball up, he'd start to cry.
And they would pin him down and do it anyway, just to make him
What?
cry. Jason.
Did you really?
That's why he's so screwed up.
You participated in that?
Yeah.
It was
So
my
much
ball.
fun. You should have seen his face when he'd hear that ball.
He'd pucker up and start screaming and crying, and they would do it to him. Jenny, I'm telling you, that's what happened to him.
But on the
Some
other
kids are
hand,
dropped on their
but on
head.
the other hand, when she said freezing somebody's bra, on our class trip, we had more fun getting a warm cup or something of water,
Making somebody
and
pee
somebody
their
had gone to
pants.
sleep, you know, and
And then you
take
stick
their
your hand in
and
it?
put it in it, and they'd went to bed.
Now I know where I got mine.
Mean streak from.
Okay, now what's the nicest thing you've ever done?
I don't know. Read that book, The Shack, I guess.
Okay.
Not yet.
Chrissy, what's the meanest thing you've ever done?
You know, I'm not like my mother and my grandmother because I don't have a mean streak in my body, and I can't tell you that. Liar.
I didn't say
Pants
anything.
of fire.
I
Your
really
bra
can't think of anything mean
fire.
that I've ever done.
Look at the camera.
I really can't think of anything mean that I have ever done.
Okay.
Okay.
We do.
How about
No,
nice?
the nicest thing you've ever done.
Not do anything mean.
I do nice things for people every day.
She does.
I do a lot of nice things.
Like
so
this?
No, but
Sitting down.
I can't think of anything. I do a lot for a lot of people on a regular basis.
Okay, Miss Perfect. Next person. Okay, Jen. What's the meanest thing you've ever done?
The meanest thing I ever did was write a really mean letter about a girl in my class, and she found the letter, so it hurt her feelings really, really bad, and she went home crying, and then I had to go over to her house and apologize in person. I felt bad for months
Who
and
was
months
it?
and months and months. Her name was Ginger. She was in my class in Burlington.
Why didn't you like her?
Because
And what'd
another
you write
girl
in the
was
note?
trying to get me to. I didn't really not like her. I liked her, but was trying to be friends with somebody else, and so did something that I shouldn't have done.
What'd you write in the note?
I don't remember, but it wasn't very nice.
Okay, what's the nicest thing you've ever done?
I think handing out hundreds and hundreds of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches
Oh,
to
yeah.
all the homeless people in Washington, D.C. on Thanksgiving Day.
Okay, you told that us a million times.
Wait, I came up with
Yay.
something mean I did.
What?
Just so I'm not so perfect. We put a nail in the middle of the road so this very mean boy, it was a good cause, this very mean man would drive over it and get a flat tire. And unfortunately, my friend's mom got the flat tire
Ooh.
instead. Because this guy just went flying up and down the road and he was not nice to kids or adults, and we wanted to get even with him.
All right, thank you. This one first.
Number 7.
Okay. What? No, 8. Okay. Have you ever been in a play? And if you have, what were you?
No, I was much too shy to be in plays.
You okay,
Okay.
Grandma?
Have you ever been in a play?
Yes.
Yeah.
And what were you if
What
you were?
was your character?
I was bashful too. I never did anything in high school, but at the church, I played Mary as in the manger scene.
All right, thank you, Chrissy.
I've never been in a play. I was in a talent show at the elementary school. Me and my friend Shannon, she stood behind me and was my hands and my feet and fed me
Oh, I
and combed
remember
my
that.
hair and
But
it
you
looked
were
really
I so remember
it looked
that.
really funny because she was behind me
And like brushing your teeth and stuff.
and trying to, but her hands were in my sleeves, you know, and brushing my teeth, and so it was fun, but it
I
wasn't,
remember that.
you know, it was just a talent show.
Okay, thank you. Jennifer.
The
Yeah,
first
Wizard of
play
Oz.
I was ever in was Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, and I was Asher, one of the brothers.
And she was amazing.
What was
That
that?
whole
that.
play was the best musical
That was
that
good.
Green Mountain ever did.
That
That
one, you think?
that whole year.
Better
Oh my
than like
god, it
Little
was.
Shop of Horrors?
Yep, I
Oh,
loved. Well, I loved
that was
all of
pretty
them,
good too.
but
You
that whole
just
your
figured
cast
that
and
out.
crew
Little
was
Shop of
amazing.
Horrors.
I liked Little Shop of Horrors.
Yes, that was really good.
Okay. No, this will be our final question. When you were born, did anything unusual happen?
What do you mean? Like during the
Like-
birth?
Was there any complications during
Did
your
you
birth?
born with 3 heads? Or
We got the other two. Mel and Dell. Are,
Hey, it's not your turn.
So do you mean anything unusual about your birth?
yeah.
Were you like a blue baby or something?
you were.
Me?
Was she?
No,
No,
Grandma.
me.
Was Grandma blue baby?
Was there anything unusual about my birth?
She had long oxygen.
You had the umbilical
You were
cord out
born
there.
the
on your
night
head?
before you were supposed to be.
Well, I guess that can count for something.
Okay. Next person.
Were you
Do we
early
need to
or
call your mother? Can I use a lifeline
Whoa,
here?
whoa. Say the question again.
A death line?
Um,
When you were born, did
Born.
anything unusual happen?
Yes, I was born in the hospital because all the other 2 babies that my mother had were born at home.
So that was the unusual.
that was
So
me.
it was unusual to be born in the
Wow.
hospital.
Alrighty, thank you.
Back in 31.
Okay, thank you.
Was there anything unusual about my birth? I mean, my brother always told me I was found under a cow patty, and I don't know how healthy
careful
you
when
can
talk,
come out of that.
Oh, a quarter.
Oh no, we're keeping it clean.
No, I don't think there was anything unusual about your birth.
Okay, good, Miss Perfect. Jen?
Nothing unusual about mine. I was born on Thanksgiving. I was born on a holiday.
Ooh.
'cause you
was
were
I born
Were
on
you
Easter?
early?
Well, the day
No,
before
I
Easter.
The
don't
day
think so.
before.
You were on time?
So isn't that called something?
Yeah, day before Easter.
Yeah.
The Easter bunny.
Almost a holiday.
Almost a holiday.
Okay.
Ruined my holiday.
Back to Diane.
That was unusual then. I ruined my mother's holiday. I ruined her Easter.
I probably
I
did
didn't get
too.
to go to the Easter breakfast, and
She didn't get to go to church.
the sunrise service.
I wrecked her.
Thanks for
Killed her.
sharing.
Did you have a bedtime story or a
No, I
special
remember
teddy
mine.
bear or
I
a
had a
special
blanket or
book or blanket? Anything little special when you went to bed?
And no, I don't think so.
Or your thumb?
Yes, I did have my thumb.
Mom.
Wait, do that again, please.
I'm just taking after my favorite cousin.
Okay, Diane.
We
Yeah,
just searched
no,
my
my
envelope for those
thumb.
blankies with the
I
cell.
sucked my thumb.
That's what helped you go to sleep?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You
Grandma?
got it,
No, I had a skipper kitty, a tiger cat with a white nose, and he always went to bed with me. But after I went to sleep, he was put down cellar.
Oh. Okay, thank you.
Didn't
Mamacita?
send over.
I sucked my thumb, but I also remember my Cookie Monster
Mm-hmm.
that caught on fire. That was a sad day.
How did it catch on fire, may I ask?
She left it sitting on top.
It was
of a
sitting on
lampshade.
top of a lamp, a light. Look, kind of like your clothes caught on fire
No.
in your bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like that.
I wouldn't be laughing, Kylie.
Okay, Jennifer.
I sucked my thumb. with any blanket that had a silk edge on it, because I like to rub it together.
Now they
She
have
was a rubber.
plugins.
And I do remember my book. My favorite book
That's right,
was
she has
The Saggy Baggy Elephant. It was a little golden book. Had the
Okay.
elephant whose belly stuck up out of the water.
Now
Thank you.
we're gonna do
The
the
final
question. When you had your first kid, what was your first memory?
There you go.
My first memory. My first memory of my first child
Bear down.
probably was looking at the tears running down Rich's cheeks.
That was for Jason, though, so it doesn't count. Never mind. Okay, go.
That was not very nice.
First memory of my first kid, I guess was I was saying to the nurse, it doesn't have red hair, does it? It doesn't have red hair, does it? And she said, why would it? And I said, because I don't like red hair.
Put her back if she does.
Okay, thank you.
Maybe
Chrissy?
you can remember that red.
My first memory was a little bit of a panicky memory because they thought I was having complications and they had to, while Cameron was still in me, they had to screw a device into the top of his head to monitor him, and I had
That's why he's so messed up. He had a screw in his head.
probably 8 to 10 nurses rushing in the room, and it was a little bit scary for a moment, but then I just remember having him on me and crying away because it was just
A miracle.
incredible.
Okay, thank you. Remember?
I think mine was just being completely scared to death that I had a baby.
Okay, thank you. Wait, what are we doing?
Thank you. Thank you for the memories.
Memories. It says
The
memory.
memories.
She thinks
What
there's
are
a
you
big
doing?
hole of it.
Mom, over your leg.
What do I have crawling under my leg?
Have a nice day.
It's not
Thank
Ozzy,
you.
it's right there.
Good
Well, I
set it
haven't
up.
seen Ozzy at all with all this food around.
All right.
He doesn't